Welcome to Design Dash, a bite-sized talk series where we get into the good stuff, marketing meets creativity, and how AI is shaking things up in design.
Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of Design Dash. My name is Aiqa, brand growth and marketing specialist at Venngage. And together with me today, we have my colleague Jay Nair, marketing lead at Venngage.
So excited to get this started.
And we also have the founder of La Isla Design and a fantastic LinkedIn carousel designer that we have had the pleasure of working with for the past few months now, Nadia Fernandez.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, so before we get started with today's topic, Jay, could you maybe share a little bit about what Design Dash is and what we hope to achieve with this mini-series?
We've been collaborating with Nadia for a while now, as you may have noticed some of our awesome carousels on Venngage. One day I had a conversation with Nadia and we decided let's do something because we feel like this is something that's missing out there. And here we are. I'll pass it on to Nadia now to share her side of the story.
Okay. Thank you, Jay. I can't believe that after coming up with this idea, we're actually here. So I'm really excited about this. AI is everywhere and we can't deny it. So as designers right now, it's either we draw a line being creative and just letting a tool do the work for us, or actually using it as a tool without losing or substituting like our good taste for design. What I feel just for me is so far it's been accelerating, speeding up the process and helping out a lot. So I can't wait to break this down.
So today we're asking, how can marketers create solid designs with little to no design experiences using AI tools? And can we do that in a way that actually boosts productivity and keep everything on brand? We have an interesting dynamic here where Jay is a marketing expert and Nadia is our design expert. And I'm somewhere in between. So together, we hope to be able to share some valuable insights for you guys.
Nadia, we're so happy for you to be a part of this. We've had many conversations where you've shared how awesome our tools are, and you've also shared like a lot of great points on where we can improve. And it was actually very insightful for us to take that on board and share it with the team. Which is why we think that you are the perfect person to guide our viewers today on how we can empower marketers to take design tasks when there isn't any other option for them.
Thank you, Jay. This actually started as me just testing out your tool. Then I moved on into using it for actually one of my clients. And I found it so helpful. It sped up a lot the process of creating content for that one client. And now I feel like this tool is actually worth sharing with the audience and making sure that other marketers and other creators are happy using a new tool that's going to save them so much time. I'm going to share one of the templates that probably if you go back into a few of the carousels that I created, you're going to find it. And I'm going to walk you through basically my few steps, 3 or 4 steps from beginning to end on how to build it. I feel like one of the main things to keep in mind is going to be choosing the right template. And that's why the AI generating tool, Venngage, is going to help you out tremendously. So let's move on. We're just going to go real quick to venngage.com. You're going to land in this very simple landing page. And from here, for this specific flyer that we're going to recreate, we're going to do design and it's going to be a flyer. So nothing more simple than that. Then it's going to ask you to create a flyer about whatever you want. In this case, I'm going to use the same prompt that I used before. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste it and I'm going to generate a design.
Nadia, I'm curious, how do we choose the right template or rather layout when you're starting a new design?
I don't think there's a right or wrong. I would think that once you have your design laid out or at least visualized in your head, how much information, maybe the size of your heading, the size of the image you want to have, how much extra information you need to share with your audience, then maybe one template can be better than others. So it might take us a few takes to find a template that we think it fits best for the design that we want to create. In this case, I do have the one I previously used, so I want to get the closest possible to what I already built to show you guys. This is the one. So this is going to be your result. So from here, we're going to click customize And it's going to take us straight into the editing page that we want to be using. So first things first, to me, I like to start with the heading. The heading is going to set your tone. It's the first thing people usually see, maybe also with an image, but it's the first thing they're going to read. So you want to get this right. In this case, we, for example, used this font previously. This is what we used. We actually realized that for the content, every single time, if you give it a good prompt, you might not have to touch it. I barely touch it every time. I feel like I read through if it sounds natural, if it sounds accurate to what you want to mention. I leave it as is. If you want to do any editing, you can go ahead and edit whatever you want. From here, a few things. I would move on to the images. In this case, I do have an image saved. So we're going to click on the current image that we have and just replace. It's going to take us to our album and we're going to pick the one we saved. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and create an icon. I previously used an icon to just give the viewers a little bit more of the iced latte that they might want to see. So we're going to go to our AI tools and we're going to go to generate icons. We're just going to type in iced latte and see what it creates for us.
So while we're waiting, Nadia, what is usually the biggest or most common rookie mistakes that non-designers would make when they're starting out with their design work?
Maybe focusing too much on the design instead of walking through a hierarchy that works every time. Placing things like maybe, oh, this doesn't look good here, but wait a second, maybe it doesn't look the best, but they're going to read it first. So you might want to have it there. So maybe respecting that hierarchy, it's always going to set you up for success. And I just feel like if there is one common mistake, it might be that you're going to be rushing through your hierarchy a little bit too early and you might just not get the design you want at the end.
Yeah. Even for me, sometimes I take too much time picking out the right colors, the right font types, and I might lose focus on the actual purpose of that flyer, which is to have an effective message. And we're so caught up with, trying to make it look good rather than be effective in its messaging.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think I have that similar problem. The question that I want to ask is like, how much is enough, or how much white space do you feel, or what's the ratio? How do you determine that?
Me, I do use a lot of controversy in my designs. And sometimes I do step out of the rules that we should be following just to create a little bit more attention. I feel like breaking the rules, if you know the rules, is a smart move. But please, guys, just first maybe take some time to know the rules and then break them. One of the very last steps, once I have everything I need in the current design, we make sure that everything we added will be branded. In this case, I created a few. You can see it over here. I have my logo. In this case, this was for specific clients, so my logo is not going to go in there. But this is going to be as easy to basically brand the whole flyer as just clicking here. And you can keep clicking. It's going to give you different options. How great is that? So this is actually the one I previously used. I really want the date to pop up. I'm going to use my accent color. We're going to keep your free samples and just the extra information in the bottom in a darker background. And then your heading, basically we're going to leave it black because I feel like it's big enough, it's clear enough, and it's clean enough for people to draw their eyes straight to it. So this is just a quick run through to show you how easy, fast, and effective this is. I cannot recommend this enough, especially for marketers or designers that actually need to get work done quickly and efficiently, but still have your own touch added to it and be able to edit or tweak little things here and there, not just rely on AI 100%.
Thank you so much. That was pretty straightforward. I think a lot of people can replicate those steps, even if you don't have any background in design. If you follow these steps, hopefully you won't do anything that is outside of the basic rules that you need to apply when you're creating a flyer or even a poster or a book cover, which, showed us how to do in your own carousels as well.
So after a few tweakings, editings, and things here and there, we just added our free samples here because we really want to mention for this business that there are going to be free samples on that day so that we can't tempt people enough, looking at this iced frap latte here. We have a very clear sip into summer heading. This is their theme, their topic that day. We have a short description. And basically, we know when this is going to happen, and we mention the free samples and the merch that's going to be over there and where this is going to happen. So it's going to be in Venice Beach, and this is the name of the cafe. So that's it. So after seeing my step-by-step on how we create or recreate a flyer, in this case, here are my top 3 takeaways. First one, always start with a headline. It'll set your tone. And it'll actually also help you find the touch or the vibe that you want for your visuals. Second, use your brand kit. It'll be like a shortcut for you. It's so easy. You'll spend maybe 3-4 minutes creating it, and then you can reuse it over and over again. And then honestly, the third but not least, I think it's picking the right template. As Jay asked before, how do we pick the right template? If you do pick the right template, this is going to be 90% of the job that's going to be already done for you. If you pick that right, everything else will flow and everything else will fall into place.
Thanks, Nadia, for that quick run through. It was really cool watching you at your craft and seeing how you actually create all those awesome carousels that we see every day. So I have a few so-called myths that we want to bust. I'm just gonna read them out, and let us know your thoughts and what you think, if it's true or false. So the first one that's quite common: templates kill creativity. True or false?
False. I think they save time so you can spend your energy and the important stuff, basically.
Okay, next one. More fonts, the better.
False. Definitely not. No. More fonts will make things messier. 2 at most. And it applies to design overall. It applies to carousels. It applies to a flyer. It applies to websites. Stick to it. Make sure the fonts are clear. The more creative font doesn't mean the better either, because the harder to read, then you put all the effort for people not to be able to read things from far away. So false.
Okay, makes sense. I used to be one that would go crazy with fonts. I would use at least 5 fonts in one design, so good to know. Okay, I think we have one more. Okay, AI removes designers.
What a topic. False.
Yeah, that's a whole other show,
False.
whole other episode.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about this forever. Absolutely not. AI still needs the prompt. The prompt has to be generated by a human. The information on the prompt has to come from the human because you know what you need in the designs. It'll filter designs by, can you prompt better than others? Then you'll get better results than others. People can use the same prompt, so they'll generate the same result. But from there, you need to tweak it to make it your own. Otherwise, you and your neighbor over there are going to be using, again, the same template. Designers are still needed, 100%.
Okay, so thank you, Nadia, for sharing your tricks with us today. If you are a marketer and you want to learn some more quick design tricks, don't forget to check out our design article in the comment section below.
Yep, and let us know which steps that you enjoyed the most. If you're a designer yourself, you can also share your tips with us, because it would really be useful for marketers and just like me, who didn't even know that less fonts is better. So I'm learning.
For the next episode, we're going to be talking about, could AI replace designers or supercharge them? We just talked about it a little bit, but we're going to dive into it much deeper on the next episode. So stay tuned.
All right. So there you go, guys. Catch us in the next Design Dash episode. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.